Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard Flight SAT 1567. Please take your seats and fasten your seatbelt as we prepare for takeoff. Welcome to Speaking About That.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Speaking About That. Yes, and yes, we are finally back after quite some time. And here I am. My name is Ziada, and I have my friends with me. Carter, say hi, Carter.
Hi everyone, long time no see. So sorry that we didn't update for everyone. But finally we are back. Yep, Darren.
Hello everyone.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Okay, so yep, we have the three of us back here with us, and today we have a very, very special guest with us. Okay, the three of us personally, we are very interested in today's topic. All right, and yeah, without further ado, let me review today's topic. Okay, it is life in the skies. Okay, so after listening to this topic, probably you would have an idea of two of what today's topic or episode will be about. Okay, and today I have this very special guest here with me, here with us. Okay, he okay is a very old friend of mine. Okay, back from primary school and high school. All right, and yes, let's welcome Jacky. Let's welcome Jacky with us.
Woo!
Hi, nice to meet
Hello,
you,
hello,
everyone.
hello.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
hey, welcome to another episode of Speaking of That. So, I'm actually very, very looking forward to this session. We has been planning for a while, and then so here am I
Yes.
today sharing with you guys about my life in the skies.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Okay.
Thanks for
So
coming.
All right.
yes. So as Jackie mentioned, he's gonna talk about his life in the sky. So I think you guys would know what his occupation is, right? But okay, let me just pass over to you, Jackie, to just do a quick self-introduction and let us
Yeah.
know what you do, of course.
All right, sure. Okay, just call me Jacky. My name is Jacky Hew. So I'm actually 24 years old this year. So my occupation now is a pilot. So I'm actually working now during the MCO period. So yeah, my work is not really affected by this MCO, so which I'm quite blessed and grateful. So I've been working actually for about 2 years time, I think.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm,
so this is basic self of me for now.
okay, all right, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the self-introduction, Jackie. So I think to our audiences by now, you should know that our Mr. Jackie over here, my old friend, is a pilot. All right. And we have loads of questions. We have tons of questions prepared for him
Yes.
because we are so curious and so interested about his life in the skies. Yes, technically. Okay. So
Yes.
let's move on with the first question. All right. So Jackie,
Yeah, sure.
maybe you can share with us how your pilot dream started and maybe what was your parents' reaction to your career choice? Yeah.
All right. So okay, the story start back in 2015, which is after my SPM. So actually, I was a very playful guy back in the high school days. As you know, Jada, you should have known me well last time. My SPM result was not that good, okay, for the first time. But my dream was to be a pilot. And then I didn't really did my research well on piloting. So I thought that my SPM result couldn't get into a flying school. And then I was quite depressed for a time because since I couldn't get into flying school, so I might have go through some other courses as well. But eventually, basic foundation, my SPM result doesn't allow me to get into that as well. That bad.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
so was quite bad. And then I was quite depressed until I went to an education fair. Then I only found out that some of the courses like engineering, like aircraft maintenance engineering, would allow me to enroll into it. So this
Mm,
aircraft maintenance engineering course doesn't really needs to have a very good result. So my result is actually qualified to enter that course. So and aircraft maintenance is much more like a piloting course because it's also in the aviation industry. That's why I have to give it a try first. So it's actually near to my dream.
right, right.
Yeah, so I give it a try. So I've entered the aircraft maintenance engineering course at first. So back then was in Ipoh. I studied back in Ipoh, which is a very, very small school. And then it looks like abandoned, that place. So yeah, I was quite surprised that time also. So still, I give it a try because I don't have much choices because I couldn't enroll into a university because of my aspirant results. That's why, okay, I give it a try. But then the environment there was really, really bad. And then
Oh
I
man.
didn't expect that I was the only student over there.
Oh.
I was
Oh
the
my
one
God.
and only student only there. Yes. I really didn't expect that. That's why I was quite how to say disappointed. And then because okay, usually university students like us, we expect to have friends, to have
Yes.
classmates, right?
Yes.
So I was alone there, and yeah, there's pros and cons. That's why because for me alone there, I can study a lot more because the course as well is conducted by the principal itself, the boss of the school
Mm.
itself.
I see.
So he taught me a lot. He's a very experienced engineer, also a private pilot as well. So I gained a lot of knowledge from him. So from there onwards, that's how I progressed. And then I had the opportunity to work on some airlines as well that time because if you know that Singapore as an airline called Scoot was formerly known as Tiger Air. So they actually first launched in Ipoh that time. So they were in need of some workers over there. So I actually volunteered myself to work there without getting any pay. That's how
Okay.
I gained my knowledge over there as well.
Oh.
I see. I
So
see.
yeah, from there itself, I have known some colleagues of mine, which is also the former student of that school, which I'm talking about, the very abandoned school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have known some people over there, my friends over there. They said, "Hey, how come are you studying there?" I say, "Oh, because I got no choice at all because I also don't know because I'm new to aviation field, and then I really don't know what are the exposures outside also as well." That's why I said I don't know about it. And one of the guy he said, "Yeah, actually you have a lot of choices. You can actually go to overseas. Actually, overseas are offering a very good program over there as well." So from there onwards, I did my research. So in the end, I went to China to further my studies over there. That's how I really started my aviation life over there.
I see.
Yeah. So from there itself, I went to China for 2 years in Xiamen. So what I've been studying is aircraft maintenance engineering, which is the professional course. A lot of people doesn't know about it because there's two pathways to become an aircraft engineer, which is whether you are getting a professional course like mine, or you go through a diploma course or a degree course. But both courses are very, very different. That's why a lot of people graduated from diploma courses doesn't really get to be an engineer in the end. So they have to study this professional course in the end as well. So it's quite a tough pathway because many of the universities and the institutions out there doesn't really tell the truth. Yeah, so a lot of people when they enter into the aviation field, they feel very confused. Yeah, that's how I progressed in that 2 years time. And then I found out that aircraft maintenance engineering was a very good course. So I really give 100% effort into it. So I want to prove that to my parents that I actually very interested in aviation and I wanted to be a pilot. So from that itself, I've realized that I actually have the ability to do that. But due to my laziness back in the high school days, that's how am I now. Okay, so I've been trying a lot of sponsored program by the airlines to become a pilot.
Yeah.
But their requirements was very tough. And then most of the airlines they ask you for self-sponsored. And then my family doesn't have that financial for me that time also because my financial was quite bad that time.
Yeah.
So my parents actually
Understandable.
objected from what I've been offering them. Then okay, that's how how to say how I fight for it. How I fight for the opportunity for it. So I keep applying for the airlines program, but I couldn't get it because it was quite tough. Even though I got it, because
Yeah.
I've remembered that once I applied for Qatar Airways airline cadet pilot program, which I
Ooh.
got it, but they wanted you to self-sponsor for around 1 million Malaysian ringgit.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
My
that's
goodness.
how I get so frustrated and disappointed at the time. So by the end of the day, actually, I have my own way to persuade my parents because there was an instructor back in my engineering school. He actually motivated me a lot. So he actually explained how does the aviation industry goes, what are the pros and cons to be a pilot or an engineer.
Yeah.
So he said, make your own choice, go for your dreams. In the end of the day, that's how are you going to survive in the aviation field, something like that. Then okay, I made up my mind, so I tried to persuade my parents. So in the end of the day, my parents also say, okay, if since you are so interested for it, then go for it. Yeah, so
Wow.
I studied in Zemun for 2 years. After I graduated was in 2017, August. So I came back. So finally my parents approved that I can go for flying school lah. Then after that, I did my research as well. Actually, my SPM result was actually qualified to enter to a flying school. So I was
Oh.
quite surprised that time because to be a pilot in Malaysia, you have to obtain at least 5 credits in your SPM.
I
That's
see.
actually that low. 5 credits,
Okay.
which means 5 Cs in your SPM.
I see.
Hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, actually my SPM result was qualified, but I didn't do much research on that because most of the education fairs in Malaysia, they actually recommend you to overseas to study for piloting. Like in Australia, there's a lot, New Zealand's, but their fees over there is very expensive. This is why my parents rejected me at first. That's why I tried to explain to my parents that okay, Malaysia has the flying school now, so the fees is something like that. So they actually approved that. But that time, the timing was very bad also because back then there was only I think three schools, only three flying schools in Malaysia. So three flying schools in Malaysia was so saturated that you couldn't get a slot into it. Yeah, that was the market that time.
Okay.
Even though the price was sky high, it's around 300K and above.
Wow. Okay.
But still you couldn't get a slot into it.
I see.
Then
I see.
I was frustrated also. That's why, because my parents finally let me to study for pilot, but I couldn't get a slot into it. So yeah, okay. Then I came back to Ipoh. Then I worked in the airport for a few months time, I think 2 months time to get over it because I was still finding any chance whether which place is the most suitable for me to get into it. But then so luckily, so coincidentally, there was a new flying school setting up. So they are actually recruiting the first batch of students into their school. So that was the timing. That time was very, very, very
Perfect.
chun lah. We can say very chun, on point lah. Yeah, very on point. And then because flying school, they don't recruit much for one batch. The maximum was only 20 to 24 people because of the quality assurance. Because the more people you have in that batch, they couldn't assure that the quality that they train out. Because, pilots needs to have a very great responsibility because you have hundreds of passengers behind you. So if you don't have the quality of it, then you might do something wrong in the future.
Yep.
So there are only 24 people in our batch, and I think I was the second last people who admitted into it.
Wow.
Nearly, I nearly couldn't get into it because there was actually so many people already applying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I stepped into the piloting field in the first place lah. Then the pilot course duration was around 22 months to 24 months, which is around 2 years time. And then because in order for us to get into the skies, we
Mm.
have to complete our theory in 7 months time, which is 15 papers in 7 months time. So
Oh
it was
my
very, very
goodness.
hectic. Even though if you couldn't pass one subject, you couldn't get into the airplane.
Wow.
My
That's how tough it
goodness.
is.
Wow,
Wow.
that's quite stressful.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's very stressful.
Oh.
And then, okay, God bless, I passed all the papers in one shot, one attempt.
Ooh.
So, which is very lucky for me. Then I tasted the sky for the first time, which is very fun, very exciting. And then
Tasted the sky.
yeah,
Oh
I tasted the
no.
skies different feeling lah.
I see,
So
I see.
yeah, and then was very there was fun, there was tears, of course, many obstructions along the way.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's not like if you have driving license back in the driving school days, the uncles sitting beside you will be very harsh
Yeah.
on you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like how we did
I
our flight training back then.
see.
Our instructors
Okay,
pushing you
okay.
to the maximum
Yeah.
limits. That's
Yeah.
how it is lah.
Mm.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
can only imagine.
so yeah, you can only imagine that.
Yeah.
Then after that, 2 years time was very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then it was graduating time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the important part is to get a job.
Yes.
Yes.
Because getting a job in the airlines for pilots, there was a trend for every 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
If in that 5 years time, if you reach the peak, if you couldn't
Mm-hmm.
get a job at the 5 years peak,
Mm-hmm.
it will go down trend. Then you couldn't get a job in 5 years time.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes, and 2019 was the year that the peak, the 5 years peak.
Uh-huh.
Then I was so unlucky that I couldn't get a job.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
I couldn't
Okay.
get the opportunity.
Okay.
Because the time was so saturated, and then the peak, all the airlines are so desperate for pilots,
Mm-hmm.
and then they actually walk into the doorstep of our school to recruit pilots.
Wow.
So I couldn't get opportunity in that both airlines lah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was very depressed that time because I know that if I couldn't get a job, then I might need to wait for 5 years to wait for another opportunity.
Yeah.
Then I was very depressed, very depressed. I depressed for I think 2 months time. I was very sad because it's not that my results were bad. I was quite outstanding in that school as well. And then all of my batchmates and my juniors got the job, except me alone.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
so imagine
Wow.
that how
Bro.
depressed and how people say that, oh, I got a job. So
Yeah.
you feel bad inside your heart lah,
Yeah,
Yeah, of
yeah.
to
course,
be
of course.
honest.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Mm.
Then after graduated, I went back home for 2 months time. I've been searching a lot of jobs out there, including overseas, Malaysia, because our license, when we obtain our Malaysia license, we are only able to work in Malaysia because of the regulations.
Yeah.
Oh, serious? Oh.
Yes. So every country has different regulations. So every authority, every civilian authority, when they issue you the license, you can only work in their country unless you have breakthrough a minimum of 1,500 hours, which is called as airline transport pilot license.
Okay.
Then only after that you are able to work for the other airlines.
I see.
So before 1,500 hours, you are holding a license called a commercial pilot license. So you are only able to work in Malaysia.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Okay. That's interesting.
yes. So many people, I think, out of aviation field doesn't know about this.
Yes.
Then okay, I'm trying my own effort and my luck to get a job, of course, in that 2 months. So I actually had few offers. I have 3 companies offering me, including the company I've been working now.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one, uh, I don't want to say the company's name.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, so I went to the interview,
Mhm.
and then I actually got a offer, but they
Okay.
did reply me for a while. I think a week time.
Mhm.
Then after that, I didn't really care about it because I have another 2 interview to go. So
Yeah.
one of the company is what I've been working now. Another one is another one lah. So
Yeah.
another one, what they offer me is very ridiculous. They wanted to bond me for 15 years with
Okay.
a very huge amount of bond, which is around 500,000.
Okay.
So do you think that you will work for the company?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No, right? Because
15 years.
Yeah.
yeah, 15 years bond with 500,000 of, you
Cannot.
mean the
Cannot.
bond value lah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if worst comes to the worst, then of course I will accept the offer because I don't have much choices,
Yes.
right? But then later on, I went to the interview by my company now. They actually offered me much more better than what the other company is offering. So right away, the day interview itself, they offer me the offer letter already. So
Oh
I
wow.
signed immediately, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I got my first job
I see. I
as a
see.
pilot that time. Because you don't have much choices because
Yes.
there's not much airline in Malaysia also.
Yeah.
True.
As
Yeah.
you can count like Malaysia Airlines, Asia, Malindo, right?
Yeah.
The three major airlines.
Yeah.
And then I was rejected by two, another one. So I don't have my choices. So for me, I just can get in and get the experience. So once I have the experience, then maybe I can jump to other places
Yes.
in the
Yes.
future, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, this company I have been working with is actually a full cargo airline.
Mhm.
Then definitely the benefits and the perks is not as good as like what other airlines is offering.
Mm.
Yep. And then I don't have much choices, so I can only work for it.
Yeah.
But then as the time goes by, as
Mhm.
you guys know, the COVID-19 outbreak,
Yeah.
yeah, no one expected that.
Yes.
Happened in 2020 March.
Yeah.
And then most of the airlines, passenger airlines, couldn't
Yeah. Yeah.
afford to operate anymore.
Yes.
So that's the glory time I had as a pilot, which I feel very grateful and blessed. I'm not carrying any passengers, but cargo only.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
throughout the MCO period, throughout the COVID-19 outbreak, I was working to the maximum limits. I can say I was very busy that time,
Mhm.
flying all around the world to carry all the necessary supplies.
Yeah.
Like recently, beginning of the year, I would say, we have been carrying vaccines to East Malaysia for other
Ooh.
countries as well. Yeah,
That's
Ooh.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you're a hero though.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
no, I'm not a hero lah, but yeah,
But
this is
You transport.
no.
You transport.
yeah,
I would say this is our responsibility lah
it's
as a
a
pilot
Yeah.
lah.
Yeah.
yeah.
I see. I see.
Oh,
So
okay.
Whoa.
yep.
So you are the one that
yeah,
transported
this
vaccine.
is basically about what I've been through all this while during the COVID-19
See.
outbreak.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you see, ladies and gentlemen, from what Jacky just said, you can see the dedication he have
Yes.
that he want to persuade his dream.
Yes.
I know everything is like how to say is not an from what you told us it's really not an easy like the path to be
Yeah.
a pilot. Is
Yeah.
I hear your story is like it's been very very tough for you, but finally you really achieve it. So yeah, like don't if you don't give up, if you find ways, surely
Yeah.
you can achieve the dream, right? You
You
see,
gotta persevere.
yeah. But
Yeah.
Yep.
okay, so like I have a question. So when you like you say you fly around, you're the cargo pilot, right? So you
Yes.
won't be like carrying any passenger. So when you go to other like countries, do you get to like visit the country? Do you have like time to like visit?
Okay, actually, staying in another country is actually depends on our company's policies because
See.
the main concern of a company is that every operation they made is to save costs.
Yeah.
So
Ah.
any other extra cost, they will actually like to save it. So they actually put you in a situation that if you fly there, if you can, if you are allowed to, you are not allowed. I mean, you are not allowed to, not to say not allowed to stay there, but the efficient way is that how do I say put it in a way that you fly there.
Yeah.
If you are not required to stay there, then you're going to fly back.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you stay there, there's extra cost.
Yeah.
Your accommodations, everything,
Yeah.
they will need to give you allowance
I
and any
see.
kind of that. So these are the costs the companies are saving lah.
I
I
see. I
see. I
see.
see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So for me,
Interesting.
I couldn't get to visit another country for the time being lah.
Oh,
I
but
see.
I
you
see.
still
Yeah.
can lah. Still long way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, still long way to go lah. Never
Too
mind
long.
lah.
Yeah.
So much opportunity in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, for me, so you officially started working for this current company since 2020?
2019, I would say end of 2019, which is on November.
Okay, okay. So technically it's almost 2 years. Wait, yeah, right. Almost 2 years reaching.
Almost 2 years,
Yeah.
reaching 2
Okay.
years.
Okay,
Nice.
so
Nice.
throughout these 2 years, maybe you can share with us how your monthly routine is, like how many flights on average would you get per month, or as Kata also mentioned, maybe you can touch on how long do you stay at each location. I mean, if regardless of the pandemic, maybe you will stay longer, or if I mean, yeah, now it's the pandemic, so of course, as you mentioned, you can't stay for the time being until the pandemic is over, and also like how do you get paid? Like, is it based on flights or whatnot? Like, maybe you can try to share with us some unclassified information. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
something
Okay, what was the first question again?
like how many flights on average do you get per month?
All right, how many flights? It actually depends on companies' rostering department lah. But average, I would say, which is around 50 hours a month. So which is quite work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
50
Because
hours per month.
yeah, 50 hours per month, regardless of how many flights.
Okay.
Yeah, and then because flights are always variable, as
Yeah.
you know, because today might be a midnight flight,
Yes.
but next day might be a day flight. So it's
see.
very hard to predict that how many flights we will get because flights are rostered based on our rest periods. Because
see.
we have a thing called flight duty period. So when you start punching in the card in the company, they will start your duty period.
I see.
So for a
Yeah.
certain of duty period, you are only allowed to fly for that duty period. So if you have exceeded the duty period, you are not allowed to fly anymore for the next flight. So you have a minimum period of rest of 8 hours before you start your next duty.
I see.
I see, I
Yes.
see.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then based on our pay actually is like you said, the pay based on our flight hours. But this is very subjective based on every airlines because this policy is not fixed.
I
So every
see.
airlines has their own policy as well lah.
I see.
Oh.
So it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
not like regulated
So
lah.
some of them might pay based on flight hours, but some of them might pay based on duty hours. So flight hours, okay, put in a way that like flight hours that is like okay lah, like as the word it says flight hours or how many hours you fly, then they pay you. But some of the airlines they pay on duty hours, which is when you reach the company, you punch in your card, then the money starts counting over there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, this is the difference between the duty hours pay and the flight duty hours pay, something like that lah.
Then
Right,
Yeah.
right.
okay, if like how to say if you like do replacement, like okay, so, example like your colleague is like maybe sick or taking a sick leave or what, if you get like how do they make the replacement? Is it the company who choose it, or there's like pilot, like you guys volunteer to
Yeah.
do it?
Like
And
emergency or anything.
and do you guys get
Um,
extra pay for it if you guys? Yeah.
yeah, we do actually for my company, we do because our pay is based on a fixed amount of flying hours. So if you exceed the flying hours, then they will pay you extra. And then, but what Carter said, if my colleagues is sick on annual leave or sick leave, then the company will call you on your standby days or your off days. So if on standby days, which is you have to be on call for a certain period of time. So in the certain period of time, if they call you, then you got to have go to work lah.
Mm.
But on your off days, as it mentions off days, if they call you, then they got to pay you extra lah.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. So we go next. So my question here is that because as a pilot, maybe not a lot of people in the world understand what your routine, because like office work, our routine is wake up 9 to 5, wake
Yes.
up, brush teeth, breakfast, drive car, go office. That's the routine, the common routine. So as a
Yeah.
pilot, what's your daily routine? So you can share to everyone.
All right. Of course, if I have a flight, as I mentioned, my duty time is very variable. So I would say, like for the past 1 week, I've been having flights during the midnight.
Mm.
So what I did is in the morning, definitely I will wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I eat my breakfast, then I would be
Okay, so far the same. So far still the
yeah,
same.
so far
Office
it's still the
hours.
same, yeah.
Yeah.
And then watching dramas or maybe reading some books whatever. Then in the evening I've been taking some nap
Mm.
and then dinner. After that, I've been preparing for my work lah. That's it lah. I think that's all about it lah. But if you said if it's a morning flight, definitely I wake up, I eat my breakfast. Because I had the earliest flight in the morning which is 4 in the morning. So that one was a very suffering one
Yeah.
because you couldn't sleep during the daytime, and
Yes.
then you have to prepare very early because I will prepare at least 2 hours before my departure time.
Mm.
So if it's 4 in the morning, I have to prepare 2 a.m. in the morning. So 2 a.m. in the morning, and normally I don't sleep for the whole day because you couldn't sleep during the daytime. So
Yeah,
even though
true,
if I
true, true.
sleep during the evening, I don't really sleep well. That's why I
Yes.
rather wake myself up doing something else.
Mm.
Then I would just call it a day. That's it.
I see. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
tough.
was a very tiring day if it's a midnight flight.
Yes, yes.
Because the
Yeah.
sleep schedule also
Yeah.
like not one
Yeah.
person already, right? Yeah.
Cause we
Your night and day
all
is
yeah,
totally opposite side already.
yeah,
Yeah.
normally cause we all normally sleep at night instead of in the
That's how a
day.
pilot life is. You got to adapt to it.
I see.
Okay. So like before you like take off for what, when you arrive the cockpit and everything, right? What's, because I sometimes when I sit inside the plane, I see like the pilot write a lot of paperwork, those kind of stuff. Can you like
Yes.
share us a bit like the SOP you guys have? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I will start from once I entered the office.
Okay.
So normally we will do our paperwork
Mm.
in the office. We will complete almost 80% of the paperwork of it inside the office before we step into the aircraft. So normally what we do inside the office is we will be looking at our flight plans. So you already know where you are going. So we will be looking at the fuel quantity, how much fuel we are going to take today. So for example, for the past few days, it was a very heavy rain in KL. So we will take more fuel as usual because we might need to have some extra fuel in case of any emergencies. So from there, we will plan our flight, how does it go? And then we'll be looking at the destinations, airport, how does it look like? We call it NOTAMs, notice to airmen. So for example, some of the airports there's closure. That's why if there's any emergency, we couldn't go to our alternate airport because closure of the airport. So we might need to divert somewhere else. So we got to look into all these informations before we step into our aircraft. And
Right.
then and
So cool.
then I think that's much about it. After that, we will be walking into our aircraft, into our cockpit. Then captain and first officers have their own duties. So from there, we will split our duties. So in our company's policy, first officers are not allowed to do a walk around check on the aircraft, which is visual inspection of the aircraft. So first officers' duties are to prepare the cockpit, which is called as our pre-flight checks, pre-flight cockpit checks.
Yes.
So pre-flight cockpit checks, including setting up the computer, which is called a FMC. We call it flight management computer. So the flight management computer is a part of the autopilot. So the autopilot works closely with this FMC. So what we key into this FMC, the autopilot will work for us. Yes, that's why normally we will put as much information into the FMC. So in order to reduce our workload.
Right.
Yeah. So this is what are the SOPs are when we step into our cockpit.
Okay.
So then after that, there's a lot of procedures going on.
Yes.
From pushback to taxi, then from takeoff, cruising. Yeah, that's much about it lah.
Okay, so like the buttons inside the cockpit, every time when I see like movies or like even in real life, I sneak through the cockpit. I see like there's a lot of button. The first time when you see all the button, are you like scared like you cannot remember everything? Like, is it easy to understand?
Yeah, of course, definitely you have the fear in it. It's like, oh, so much button. I was like, oh my god. So which button should I touch?
Yeah.
Okay, but these are all based on your muscle memory. So as the time goes by, if you are adapted to it, then it's actually a very normal thing. Yeah, but during the training days, we are not trained on a real aircraft. There's a simulator.
Yes.
And then before we stepping into our simulator, we'll be watching practicing based on a poster. So the poster is actually the replica of the buttons inside the aircraft. So from that itself, we visualize, we practice what are these buttons for, what are these buttons for, etc. Something like that lah. So to really step into a simulator before our session, so we could have got to adapt ourselves, what kinds of procedures, what kind of button we should touch before each action lah. Something about it, something like that lah.
I see.
Oh, I can only imagine. Just think. I just recall myself going to driving school. Then before you go into the car, you need to check everything on like tayar ada bunga, side mirror okay. That is already like hard enough for a lot of people, right? Like for me, it's still alright, but that's still an effort, right? Then go into the car again, like left signal okay, right signal okay, everything. Then imagine in the aircraft, like Carter said, all the buttons there. When you watch like Hong Kong drama and all that, oh my god, like I cannot imagine, serious.
Yeah, it was tough at first. It was very tough at first, but as the time goes by, I would say it's all right.
Yeah, of course.
You'll definitely get used to it.
Yeah, consistency, right?
Yeah, and then because for every aircraft, for every cockpit, like Airbus and Boeing have different kinds of buttons. So it's like your Mercedes-Benz and your BMW, they have different buttons. They have different kinds of concepts. That's why when you are transitioning from a type of aircraft to another type of aircraft, you need to have time to adapt to another type of aircraft. That's why there's a training period for you to get used to it.
Okay, this is something new.
Okay.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
By the way, I think I have one more question about the cockpit because I'm very curious. So like
sure.
inside the cockpit, right? There's like two steering. Is it like working? I mean, like there's co-pilot, right? When you guys controlling, is it?
Yes.
Do you guys control the things like how to say, equally, or you
Simultaneously.
guys or you guys do your own thing?
Yes, both sides are working simultaneously at the same time. It's just like back in the driving school days, the two brakes from the instructor side and your side is the same.
Oh.
Yeah, so what they control is what you control.
It's the
Okay,
same
okay,
lah.
okay.
Yes,
Okay,
because why? Because if a first officer or a captain, no, yeah, because both have to work at the same time.
Mm.
Because how to say mm, if one of them anything happen, another guy can take over the controls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why they have two controls over there.
Okay.
See.
Understand.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Like
see.
something like for example, I did something stupid. I want to crash a plane. So the other guy, the captain, will take over the plane. So from his side, he can control the aircraft as well.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Okay.
Didn't know
I
that.
think
So are you usually the one who controls it, like mainly in charge?
Not to say like that, but we split our duty into two parts. We call it as pilot flying and pilot monitoring. So pilot flying, as the word says, flying, you are in charge of the plane, flying the plane. Besides like pilot monitoring, he will take the responsibility as a monitoring pilot to monitor the autopilot, what is going on, and then maybe communicating with the air traffic controllers, all these kind of responsibilities. Yeah. So for example, today I'm flying to Hong Kong. So the first flight to Hong Kong, maybe I will be the pilot flying. So another flight back from Hong Kong, I will be the pilot monitoring. So the captain will be the pilot flying. So we will swap the duties.
Okay.
So each people will be in charging one flight lah, I would say. But these are based on the captain's decision lah.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
That's cool. Okay.
Okay. So I think this is something a little bit more interesting also, and for every audience to just widen your horizon, open your eyes also. These are some myths. Okay. So yes, Pilot Jacky, please help us debunk a few myths, okay, of being a pilot. All right. So first, do you need to have perfect vision? So for your information, your audiences listening on Spotify, please head over to our YouTube and just check out how Mr. Jacky looks like because he wears specs. So I think a lot of people is kind of confused about this thing. Yes. So please answer this myth for us. Do you need to have perfect vision?
Yeah, I've been receiving a lot of questions about this also. Does a pilot needs to have a good vision? Actually, no. This is a myth that has been, I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
It's been around forever.
Yeah, it's been around forever. But yeah, used to. But back in the days, yeah, pilots used to have, I mean, needs to have a good vision, a perfect vision. But now, there's no more this kind of regulations anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, okay.
Because back in the days, because all these myths are actually from the military side. Because as a military pilot, yes, you need to have a perfect vision. But as a commercial pilot, you actually don't need to have a perfect vision, but there's a limit. Your myopia couldn't be more than 500. And your astigmatism also, astigmatism is also the same, I think around 200 if I'm not mistaken.
I see.
Something like that.
So as long as you are still within the criteria, then it's all right lah. Like doesn't have to be perfect lah. Okay.
Yes, because in order to get your pilot license, I would say when you go to flying school, flight training, you need to pass a medical checkup. We call it as a class 1 medical. So this class 1 medical consists of many kinds of tests. One of it is our vision. So if your vision is not good, if you are required to wear spectacles, then your requirement is to is to have a perfect vision with your spectacles on. 6/6. Yeah.
I- Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
All right. Okay, so that's the first myth debunked. Okay, for every one of us, you do not need to have perfect vision, but that's like the newer policy nowadays. Like back in the
yes.
days, of course, you need to have perfect vision, and as Jacky said, this myth kind of came from the military side of things.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the next myth, although you are a cargo pilot, I'm not sure if this applies to you, but okay, let's just give it a try. Do you get free flights for your other traveling purposes? Like outside of your hours, do you get like additional bonus free flights or whatnot?
Bonus free flight as in?
That's why I say I'm not sure if this applies to you, but let's say if maybe a passenger pilot, like if you fly to this place or whatnot, I mean of course you get to stay there or whatnot, but after you come back and all that, that's your duty, right? But outside of duty hours, do you get like bonus from the company giving you free flights or perks like that? And free flights for your own traveling purposes.
Own traveling purposes, or as in
Yes,
vacation,
yes.
not working.
Yeah, yes.
For my company, no. But for the airlines, like in the passenger airlines, yes, they do have. They do have free flight tickets or some benefits like you what do they call again? We call it ID90 in the passenger airlines. They do have 90% discount on some tickets for their traveling
Wow.
purposes. Yeah, for their families and friends.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
but that's only limited to some. I think it's limited to an amount of people who have this kind of benefits. Yeah.
Okay, got it. All
Yep.
right. That's the second. Okay, more or less a myth. Now, third one that I want to ask is but I mean you've mentioned earlier that you fly to multiple locations, but actually, do you always fly the same route? Like for example, you say you fly to Hong Kong and Vietnam and all that, but is it always going to be these locations, or it's not fixed, not restricted to these locations only?
I would say these are based on the company's commercial plannings because these are the business they have in time. That's why the routes are actually expanded by them. So what we get is what they plan. So if they plan you to this destination, then you go to fly that destination, that's it. So for example, the company only have limited routes, then you are flying that kind of limited routes.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you couldn't get to fly to other countries unless they expanded their routes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So that's the third question, third myth debunked. Now, maybe a last one. Are you personally more immune to jet lag than the rest of us? I mean, not sure if you've gone to other time zones, like because you mentioned Hong Kong, Vietnam is still within Asia, so more or less still the same. But yeah,
Yes.
just to ask you, are you more immune to jet lag? Like for us, like we go US or whatnot, we definitely get jet lag. But for you, will it happen to you since you're like kind of used to it within these 2 years time?
Okay. I would say me myself. Yeah, maybe I would have a little bit get used to it for this jet lag thingy because for me, our company will send us to training every 6 months in Paris.
Oh.
Yeah, this is quite special for us. So whenever I go to Paris, I've actually immune to it because of my duty hours. Because as you know, normally I work at midnight. Then during the day I sleep. So it's actually the opposite side of it already. So definitely I would say my jet lag is much more used to it than the others.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the fourth myth debunked. Okay. For the rest of us, we are normal human beings, non-pilots. We definitely get jet lag, but for Mr. Jacky, he's like superhuman now.
No, I'm not
Okay.
superhuman.
But it's a must also lah.
Yeah, you're gonna
Okay.
get used to
So
it.
yeah, so maybe Carter and Darren, let's go with maybe one last question, shall we?
Sure. I think okay. I think one last one. I think when during flying, like, do you get to like listen to music or like read books, or you must fully focus on the journey of the flight?
For medium to long haul flights, flights which is more than 3 hours and above, yeah, maybe we could listen to some music if the traffic is not congested during that time, because we do have to listen out to other traffic around us as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what's happening around us.
Mhm.
So if the traffic is not congested, yes, we might be listening to some music or maybe chit chatting, yeah,
Oh.
and or maybe some rest as well, some short nap. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Then one more. So like, do you ever like experience like how to say like unexplained events, so something like a UFO or something like lightning, like something weird something weird.
Something weird,
Something
something
weird. Yeah. Something unexpected. Yeah.
yeah, there's once.
Oh,
Actually,
what is it?
yeah, there's once. During the night time, yeah, when I flew to Hong Kong.
Uh-huh.
We are over the ocean,
Uh-huh.
and then it was a very peaceful night, very dark
Okay.
skies, with very nice
Okay.
stars.
Wait, like Netflix show though.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then
Okay, okay, okay.
out of a sudden,
Uh-huh.
out of a sudden, there was a very bright light. You can see that the sky was literally split into half.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a very unexpected sight lah. And then we were very shocked. Me and my captain were very shocked.
Mm-hmm.
The scenario takes for like I think 5 to 6 seconds only.
Okay.
The sky was like literally split into half with a very bright light, and then it uh goes off with wonderful colors, with orange, green, purple, something color like fading out. All of a sudden, then it's like you are entering into some time capsule, into a time traveling kind of thing.
My goodness.
Yeah. That was very surprising, and I was very shocked that time lah, because we don't know what's happening. It was very peaceful, very peaceful around. So
Do you
yeah,
take a
that was
picture?
my. I didn't took a picture because it was so fast. It's
Too
a blink
shocking,
of
is it?
an eye. Too
Oh.
short, very short sighting only.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
Okay.
couldn't even take a phone to
Uh-huh.
step on it. Even if you step on it, it's
No,
already gone.
no man, Jackie, you say you didn't take any evidence. I don't think I believe you like that.
But yeah, it was a very short sighting. I don't have the time to take my phone out also, because if you take the phone out, you open the camera.
Yeah.
By the time you take the picture, it's already gone.
Yeah.
Never mind
Right,
lah.
right.
Yeah, but if you say like shooting stars, yes, I saw a lot of shooting stars.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, tons of time, but that one also is a split of an eye. That's it. No more. Yeah, you
Really,
couldn't have the time to take the shooting star also.
life in above the sky really different from
Yeah.
where we are. We always
And there was another sighting also, but that one not really weird lah. We saw a very high object lah. It's not a UFO, but we are suspecting it was a drone.
okay.
Yeah, those spying drone. Yeah,
Got
because our on board there's a radar. We can track other traffics around, but that particular dot of it we couldn't track. So we are suspecting it was a drone, because we are really very up high, around 40,000 plus feet. So it's impossible for a commercial aircraft flying that high, unless it's a drone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Maybe one last small thing from me. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Jackie. Yeah, if you are to give a quote like regarding your career, your story, your journey so far, what would it be? Like any quote, or like maybe something that you live
Your
by.
own words. Your own words to
I
yeah.
would say everything happens for a reason. So don't give up, no matter what. Chase your dreams. So dreams is precious. So don't give up. That's it.
I think. Okay, I think what you want to mean is sky is the limit.
No, actually, sky is it's not the limit. There's actually
Yeah
you can
lah.
go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sky is the limit. That's how people say it, lah. But
Yup,
yeah, if
that's
you
right.
want to dream beyond that, you can be an astronaut.
Yeah.
You can go to doing to space.
But
Yup.
you can be Elon Musk also can lah.
Yeah, can Elon Musk.
Okay. Great. It's been a great session, and we are very happy to have you today, Jacky.
Thank you
so
very
much for
much.
coming.
Thank you for the session.
So, ladies and gentlemen, so we come to the end of our session for today. And thanks for tuning in to our brand new episode. It's been quite a long time, but today we have a very special guest, shared quite a very motivational story and some cool facts about flying in the
Yes.
sky as a
Yes.
pilot. So,
Yes.
if anyone you want to chase, your dream is to be a pilot, go for it. You see, Jacky, you just go for it, all in, man.
Yes.
It's never
Yes.
an easy road, but
Yes.
just give it a
Put
go.
in hard
So,
work.
Yeah, put in the hard work. Yeah. Okay, so from
Yes.
here, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna sign off now. Thanks, Jacky. Thanks again. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
Okay,
Thanks a
so
lot.
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. This is
Bye.
thinking about that. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Get
bye,
vaccinated,
bye,
guys.
bye.
Get
Thank
vaccinated.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode and feel free to tell us what other topics that you would like us to cover. And of course, don't forget to follow our socials at Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We'll see you in the next one.